Welcome to another episode.
Oh my God. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I pushed the button 10 seconds ago. It didn't do nothing. Then I pushed it again and then it went off.
Welcome to another episode of High IQ with Ivory.
It's ridiculous.
Where we talk about things that are spiritual, intellectual, what's all the things, Quentin? Spiritual,
Emotional,
intellectual, emotional, relational, practical. And we have a little show for y'all tonight.
Practical. This I think this is a practical
very
one.
Practical show. We're going to be talking about curiosity.
Yeah, for a few minutes.
We're just a little.
What you drinking?
Watermelon juice.
Oh, I was eating some watermelons earlier today. You know, watermelon is like a superfood. Watermelon has so many positive traits. You know the crazy thing about that.
It tastes really
we have been guilted into feeling a certain type of way about watermelon, but watermelon is incredible.
We have been guilted into not loving what everybody should love.
Right. Absolutely.
So yes, I fallen in love with watermelon.
Yeah, and especially that's my go-to one, especially when I'm dieting.
You like I want something sweet. Watermelon got that sweet, but it got all of the water in it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it can serve as a filler and still minimal calories. It gives you it helps slim you down. It watermelon does a lot of good stuff for you. Don't sleep on watermelon. Mm-hmm.
Great for hydration. Yes.
Yep.
I'm a watermelon girl these days. With no shame.
So, topic today is curiosity. Do you consider yourself a curious person?
Yes. I do.
Would you say you have compartments or categories of curiosity, or do you feel that you're all around curious person?
Oh, definitely compartments. I wouldn't say I'm a around curious person. Like I don't curious in the sense of I'm not a person who feels like, oh my God, I'm just curious about every single thing in the world or what happens in life. I'm not, if it's not directly impacting my purpose, my vision, what's around me, people, then I'm probably not that curious. But when I say I know I'm a curious person, like I'm so curious about people. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Like I'm curious about people's lives, their stories, what motivates them, what drives them, their experience. I'm really curious about people. I'm not curious about everything.
What are categories that you're not curious about?
Physics, like if you want to, get into a deep conversation with me about ergonomics or physics or, like just the way things work. And I know it's important for somebody to be curious, right? About things work. And that's why I have a lot of the comforts I have, because somebody decided to be curious about how things work. I'm not curious about how things work. Yeah, not at all.
You're happy that they work, but as far as how they work, then, whatever.
Something off the top of my head, I could say I'm just not curious about, or like religions and stuff like that. Like I'm not actually really curious.
No, I am curious to some degree about religions. That's a category. You know what? So as you were talking just a second ago, I'm thinking, I'm not sure about this, but I'm thinking my curiosity leans more towards an art more so than so because even when you talked about physics, all right, that's math, that's something that you can learn, and once you learn it, then the math speaks for itself. But when it comes to art, and when you're talking about dealing with people, then you're dealing with art. There's no set science behind what triggers a person, why they behave, why they are themselves or a unique individual. There's an art to it, and those things make me a little more curious. They interest me and make me more curious as to why or how, when, where, all of the questions that come with that. So I think that the anything that has art attached to it or nuance, I guess it makes me want to know more.
But like things that are kind of in stone or somewhat in stone, maybe not so much.
Maybe that
It
too.
solves for like.
I think it might just be limited though. I am curious as to how things work, or but it's the how is limited. Like I am interested in how smartphones work, but if you're trying to break down and you want me to look at the motherboard, and it's not that curious.
Not that curious about that. Yeah, and you know what I was even like when it comes to things like sorry, I didn't notice our circles work the same. When it comes to things like religion, and I'm curious about those things to the point that I know it helps me understand people better.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it still goes back into what I'm truly curious about is not just understanding it for my own knowledge, but I know knowing things about it might help make a person make more sense.
Right. And I do like to I am curious about just the commonalities that we all have.
Okay.
So no matter what different religions, what compels a person to religion, regardless of what their religion is, what keeps a person in a religion, what keeps a person set on a certain belief system. Because some of those things can be universal, like the need for understanding the afterlife, a need for family security. There's certain things that usually can be universal if you dig deep enough. Like, okay, I get it.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Let me look. How do you satisfy your curiosity?
So, I read a lot. Now lately my reading has been more of just for fun, but I used to read a lot to satisfy curiosity. I can't say I've been doing it as much. I watch a lot of podcasts. I talk to people. Try to have as many interesting, connected conversations with people as I can. Try not to miss opportunities.
Right.
To have interesting conversations that satisfy my curiosity. Yeah, that's about it. I watch a lot of podcasts, talk to people, read things.
Everything that you said, I do the same thing. Yeah, I do a lot of I do audiobooks. I do podcasts, I do documentaries. I ask a lot of questions. The only thing I would add in addition to that, floating or drifting is a big part of. So taking a day, if I have a day off, I might just go downtown and walk around and look at buildings or look at pigeons and look at birds. Just allow my mind to wander.
That is so funny because when you said floating or drifting, I don't do floating or drifting that way. But when I say I spend so much time in my head dissecting things, and it's fun for me. I have arguments with myself in my head.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You know, like I just I play things out, play counter arguments out, but no, what about it? Like I do a lot of head drifting around things that are interesting to me to just like really see if I can try to satisfy my own curiosity a lot of times in my head.
Let me ask you, does your curiosity usurp I'm looking for the word, but I guess I use insecurity for instance, this is what I'm thinking. I'm an introvert. I already jumped off. She'll jump back on in a second, hopefully, if her battery's not on. So for instance, I am an introvert. It's hard for me to just get out there and talk to people. But
Sorry.
No, you're fine. If I'm curious about something, my uncomfortableness of talking to people will be usurped by my curiosity. So in a situation where I normally wouldn't talk to a person, if I'm curious, my curiosity steps over that, and I'm going to walk up to, hey, let me ask you this. and if they do something, if they're wearing something, if they have certain type of earrings, or if they, and if I'm curious enough,
will definitely help me overcome talking to people, and because I'm just like, I want to know.
Right. Exactly. So
like my curiosity like gets me into conversations I probably wouldn't have entered. Just like somebody's talking about something that's interesting. Like,
right.
I don't care that I don't know y'all. Like, we in the same space. I'm gonna be like, hey, I heard.
And on the side note, people love it.
They do.
People love you inquiring information that gives them a chance to explain or educate, or you're right, to enlighten, whatever the case is. Then people love that.
Yep. I have learned, like, and this is what this goes back to me watching podcasts. And a guy said this, and I kind of knew it, but I just him saying it out loud. He was like, we spend so much time underconnecting, like as human beings. Because somebody's like, oh, what if you overdo it? Be too curiosity, or insert yourself too much. And he was like, I just wouldn't worry about it because our tendency is to underconnect. And so even if you think you're overdoing it, you're probably not. Like, right. Even if you think you're overdoing it and you strike out sometimes, if you really think about it, you probably strike out 10%, 15% of the time.
Right.
And 85% of the time you go for connection with people, it works.
So, and I do agree with that. I would say that your intention plays such a huge part. Your intention behind it when you approach something as a student or someone who's really seeking to learn, then that's the difference. Now, let me add this other part in here too. Your curiosity still has to have a meaning behind it when you're asking a person a curious question. So, friend, let me give you an example. And Ivory, I know how you are too. Certain things that you ask, you might ask me about something from a racial perspective or from a gender, something like that. Now, if you're asking my personal opinion or you want to get my perspective, that's one thing. If you're asking me certain things that you truly have the ability to find out yourself, like some stuff people ask the question and you just ain't did no homework.
And it's like, obvious you don't really care.
Right. Because if you were really curious, then there are
there's signs.
there's levels of, the information is there for you to get base level information. Now, if you're trying to dig deeper and you want to get a deeper understanding, then that's a question. But you asking me about certain things and you haven't done basic research. You don't know basic history. That's absolutely available the same way that I learned it, because that information wasn't taught to us in the schools. The vast majority of it wasn't taught to us in school, so we had to reach and get this information. So the same way my curiosity led me to do a little bit of research, then your curiosity should lead you to a certain level of it as well. That's my only time where I push back a little bit, like,
Well, and to me, there's a difference between being genuinely curious, right, and wanting to solidify the thoughts you already have.
right.
And that feels different, even to who you're
Right.
talking to, because it's actually not genuine curiosity.
Right.
You already,
Genuine curiosity it's a completely open question.
it's
not a question that's
whatever
trying to
the answer
lead me down.
is, I don't have an already set response for
Right.
that answer, because I really just wanted to know. It might lead to another question, but not like oh yeah, see, yeah, that's, I know, because I know how Black people are, I know how women are, like, that's not being
Right.
genuinely curious when you set people up with answers and you
Right.
feel like you already have the answer to what you ask them.
Right. And so for instance, when I'm truly asking a curious question, then I'm open to receive whatever that person is going to give me. Now, I may ask an additional question for more clarity,
Right.
but it's not really to combat that person's opinion.
No.
And you'll find people who do that, like, oh, you're not really curious, you're trying to prove that your mindset is right. Now you've heard this kind of, go ahead.
I've even learned this, like, sometimes I'm asking because I'm curious about you, even though what you're responding to, I kind of already have my own opinion about that, and I already have my own answer for it. But even if I'm just super curious about you and your take, I'm still gonna approach that differently.
Right.
Because I know I'm not gonna get you to keep telling me about you and your thoughts if I just start being like, nah, because if I'm genuinely curious about you and what you think, I'm gonna approach a conversation with you differently. I want you to keep telling me.
And there's times when I know for certain I 100% disagree with your thought process or standpoint, but my goal wasn't this isn't a right or wrong conversation or question. I'm curious about your mindset and how you process and how you come to the conclusions that you do.
Yep.
So for that and for you, then that's not going to be wrong. Me agreeing or disagreeing is not a right or wrong for you. It's right for you because that's that's what you think.
Right.
So the old saying, curiosity killed the cat.
Somebody just said that. They asked me, what are you talking about on your show tonight? And I was like, curiosity. And it's like, oh, like the curiosity killed the cat type. And I was like, I was thinking more of like healthy curiosity.
But I still wanted to touch on that though. So I mean, it seems like even if, especially that's one of the first things we think about, curiosity killed. That was one of the first statements associated with curiosity.
With curiosity is that
as
it can
if
go wrong.
It was downplayed that, or it was frowned upon, or
to be
you shouldn't be so curious. You shouldn't ask so many questions. Where does that come from? And like, what is your thought on that? Like discouraging people from being curious and asking questions as if there's something wrong with that.
I mean, listen, if I'm going to be cynical, I feel like it comes from just a world full of shady people doing shady things. And if you keep asking questions about shady people doing shady things, you might get killed. I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah, that could be. Now I was thinking, I don't know, I'm just thinking through it. It could have come from a space and a place, if you think about historically. Number one, asking too many questions could get you in trouble. Mm-hmm. And then number two, the way society was operating, there was no sense to make out of it. When you think about racism and segregation, and if I ask you to, like, there's no sense, there's no sense to make out of this. And there's no way for you asking me the questions, there's no way I can rationalize it or give you an answer that will make sense. So the best thing to do, if we're not going to fix it or change it, maybe the best thing to do is tell somebody, look, don't ask so many questions. This is the way things are. Learn how to operate. It's probably me.
Okay.
I don't see myself freezing up, but it's a good chance that it's me.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, you find out though.
You said what?
You good now?
Oh, okay. So maybe that was a thing. Like,
the
way we're living life, we don't really have answers for it. Don't ask questions.
But like, I'm just saying, even in that scenario, asking questions is still what prompted progress in any situation. Asking questions, right, and finding out that no, it don't make no sense, or these are the answers, it's always good.
But when people feel like they don't have any productive answers to give you, then sometimes
I need to go find them. You don't have them, so where can I find them?
Well, I agree.
I should stop asking.
But you're okay. You're speaking as an American.
Okay.
In certain instances where your questions would not lead, there's nothing that you're going to do that's going to lead to progress outside of revolution or revolt.
Okay. Sometimes that's what's necessary.
Sometimes it is, but that's not the thing that people were going to encourage you to do. And what's funny is it's I think about that in society. I guess where there's lack of information or lack of answers, then it seems that's where curiosity is frowned upon. Even still, like, curious people in church really don't do. That's one of the reasons I didn't do well with a lot of people. They be like,
don't be asking all the questions. What you got right for?
And you got all these whys, and why do we do this, and why is this, and why is this, and they're like, why you ask so many questions? This is the way that we do it. So it seems like an either an absence of answers, or people do know the answers, but they don't feel like there's change, or they don't want to change. Then they'll encourage you to stop asking.
It was a pastor just came to our church Wednesday, and he said, we're thinking is low, superstition is high.
Mm.
You don't understand. Yeah. You just be making stuff up.
What is the benefit of being curious?
Ooh, okay. So the benefit of being curious, to me, curiosity is a mood booster. It really levels you out. Like, feeling like can be depressing. And some things you do know, right? But a lot of things we think we know, we don't know.
Right.
Especially when it comes to relationships and other humans and things. It's like, it's always better to approach any situation with curiosity. It puts you in a better mood to have a conversation. It puts you in a better mood to face a new challenge. anything you're about to do in life, if you approach it with curiosity, you're going to be approaching it in a better place.
Yeah. What are the pitfalls of being curious?
I think the only pitfall I could think of is if you overdo it, right?
How do you overdo it?
Like sometimes life has given you the answer. Life has
Do you
given
think sometimes people will use curiosity
so they
for the
don't
purpose
have to,
of not right? It keeps you from taking action.
it keeps you from taking action. It keeps you from having to maybe just kind of sit in something hard and walk it out.
Right.
Or just kind of have to sit in the mud of something once you figure out the truth of it, you know?
Right.
Sometimes you have to slodge through some areas of life or things, and you keep saying, I'm still trying to figure it out. I still got, you know, I'm still curious about what's really happening. No. Life is giving you the answer about what's really happening. You like
right.
There's a limit to just saying you're curious when the answers have been given and you do understand, and you're using not understanding as a cop out.
Right.
But I mean, it's
golly,
not
I got
real
a lot of
curiosity. I'm just saying, I think that's the way people
Right.
can try to
Right.
use it wrong.
How do you feel about people who are never curious?
I don't trust them.
You don't trust them. What do you mean by that?
It's not even like I can't be around you or I can't love you or we can't even be close, but it's always a little piece of me that doesn't trust people who aren't curious. If you are not a curious person, things happen. You don't question it. You don't ask questions. You just go with it. It's just something about that I can't trust.
I don't know if I don't trust it. Now, what I would say is, it would be hard for me to. It would be hard for me to connect with you.
You don't trust it. That's why you can't connect, because you can't trust it.
No, I know it's no. I don't know. No. In some cases, people who are never curious, in some ways, they can be more easy to. Like, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. I know, they're kind of easy to figure out. But the thing that I think is hard for me to connect with is like, I am a person who's always looking to expand. Curiosity comes with the desire to expand. So for one thing, people who are never curious, oftentimes, in most cases, they find their box, or their area of knowledge, expertise, information that they're comfortable with, and they stay in that box right there because this is what I know. I want to stay in a place where I feel like I'm in control and I have the answers.
Okay, so you saying the perfect thing for me to explain why I don't trust them.
Okay.
I'm a complicated person. I'm not in a box. You're going to have to stay curious about me to really be in a relationship with me. That's how I feel.
Right.
If you like things in a box, that's simple, and you don't ever got to wonder about it. You don't got to ask questions. You don't got to have no conversation about it. I'm probably not the person.
So for a person who's not curious, there's no evolution that comes with them.
And I'm
and
always
and
going
I'm
through a
always
new.
ever evolving,
I
ever
mean,
evolving.
every
So
year,
that
every
goes back to
5 years, every 6 months, like something's
right. So that
happened.
goes back to where
God
I'm saying
told
it
me
would be
something.
hard for me to connect with you.
I figured something out. And if you're not curious, like we're gonna eventually miss each other. Like I
Right.
know it. Like we gonna miss each other. And you might not even tell me we missed each other because you ain't even curious enough to see if we could not miss each
And
other.
that's why I said it would be hard for me to connect with somebody like that.
Yeah. I don't trust people who are not curious.
Yeah. So if you have any, what else you got anything else you
So
want to add?
the last thing I probably just wanted to say about it, and this is something I always taught at my job. I was like a culture ambassador, but we talked a lot about curiosity.
Culture ambassador.
Whatever. That's what it's called. Culture ambassador. You got all these cultural values, and then some of us.
Well, I mean, it sounds like some cold words, but I would say you do seem like a good person for the job.
And you teach culture. So for years, I taught, culture classes and stuff in my job.
That's probably good. You don't want nobody. The worst thing to do is have somebody who don't know what they're talking about or unqualified trying to talk about culture.
Trying to teach the culture of your company. Yeah, don't do it. But what we had I forgot. It's like a steps thing. And the things underneath were like negative emotions, and then you had your positive emotions or whatever. But the middle of all of it was being curious. Be curious.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even right now. I don't remember what was underneath curious. I don't remember what is above. But I know everything under curious was called the mood elevator, or lower mood states, and everything above curious was higher mood states. But what we always told people was get to curious. Like your job when you're in lower mood states is not to try to feel great. Your job is just to get to curious.
That's interesting.
And what we taught was don't send an email, don't organize a meeting, don't have a conversation until you're curious. Like anything you do that's underneath curious is probably going to be a disaster.
Does a person without curiosity, does that say something about their character, or is it just how they were made? I guess that's still character, but
I think it can.
Like, is it a flaw? Is it a flaw, or is it just a personality trait?
Oh, I see it as a flaw. Because if you're not curious about the world around you, what does collaboration look like? What does compromise look like without curiosity? Like, right. Is it even possible if you're not a little curious to like meet people in the middle and like get something accomplished with other people if you're not even right. curious enough about them or what they want or their vision to even start, Right. So I see it as a character flaw when people aren't curious. And in relationships, this is really hard. And this is something I teach at the job. It's like, if you go into a situation thinking you know what's happening, I know what's happening, I know why it's happening, I know all of the rationale, like I know, and you walk into a room with I know, that's destructive.
Right.
Like, you bring that energy and then people don't want to share with you. They don't want to, like, it's just not good energy when you walk into a situation thinking you know. Yeah,
it's pretty annoying, actually. And you will cause a large portion of people to shut down to you. Right.
people shut down. And so I do think it's a character.
Oh, and let me say this too, Ivory, especially as if you are a person in leadership or management, you absolutely want to be curious. If you come into meetings and it's I know it, I have the answers already, you'll have so many people shut down, you will lose the room, you'll lose the people's desire to give input diminishes. You already got all the answers. You're not interested in other person's input or what they have to say or how they see things or what they're experiencing out on the floor. If you're not curious about another person's lens or perspective, or it's terrible when leaders are not curious.
And I mean, literally, you have to take that across to everything, though. It's terrible in your marriage if you're not curious. It's terrible in your friendships if you're not curious. Like, you really have to approach things with a lot of curiosity. And a lot of times when people will say, like, and I know this because you'll be talking to a friend and they're not curious at all. Now, will they say it when they talk to that person? They might say, man, what happened the other day? But I already know. You think you know. You think you know why. You think you know. you think you know. You're not genuinely curious about what happened the other day.
Ooh, dang. Okay, so to go into another potential topic that we have later, you just made me think about it, which is flexibility. And a person, this is just a thought that I had, a person who says or comes off as curious, but they're not flexible, it makes their curiosity seem not genuine.
It's suspect.
Because how can you be truly curious without having some level of flexibility? Because new information should
open up new doors.
I never thought of that before. I have something to reconsider. I got to think about that. I never thought about it that way. Let me think about that. That's interesting. Oh man. But you're curious questions and then you're still not flexible. Yeah, you wasn't curious.
You probably already had your mind made up. You just thought it was cute to seem curious.
Couple things I wrote down, then we're gonna be done. Okay. And these are just thoughts, not questions. Curiosity isn't just about asking questions. So you like I said, when I go floating, when I walk through the neighborhood or I go find somewhere to walk around, I don't have to ask questions. I can just be curious about life. Your observations, have curious observations. You don't even have to say anything. Another thing, curiosity, and I don't think this is in all cases, but I think we talked about what could be a pitfall of curiosity. One of the things I think to combat that, when applicable, curiosity should come with a hypothesis.
Okay.
When you're asking yourself a question, why does this work? Before you even know or get another perspective or find the answer, have a thought.
Have an idea.
Have an idea of what you think it is. Now, because what that'll do is, number one, it's expanding your mind. And then number two, certain curiosities that could get you in trouble. That hypothesis. So if I put this pipe up to my mouth and I smoke it, then I might get addicted and I could lose everything I got. This curious. So even though I heard this is the curiosity, I think we won't do this.
Yeah.
You need to think about the steps that come after certain things, even with your curiosity. I'm curious about going to this club. I'm not familiar with this club.
Even I'm curious about asking the person this question.
Club. I don't know.
What could their answer be?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what their answer would be.
I mean, just Yeah. So it prepares you for expansion, or it can be your hypothesis could give you a level of caution before moving
Mhm.
on your curiosity. So I think I had something else, but I can't find it. But that's all. Oh, the last thing I say is when it comes to podcasting or moderating or interviewing, being curious is key, or it will be hard for you to be a good podcaster, moderator, or interviewer, and you lack curiosity.
Yeah, it puts people on the defensive, and it just doesn't make for a good interview
Right.
or a good show.
The viewers that I've seen always have a curious uh demeanor
Yeah.
or take. And I like, whether you like them or not, I tell you, Howard Stern, master interviewer. Joe Rogan, if you ever live, master podcaster, interviewer, like really good, because they ask questions and they may give their own opinion on something, but their opinion is not infringing on the next person's opinion. And they ask questions that are curious, that they want to know, that they're interested in knowing. And not only that, if you ever, especially somebody like Joe Rogan, I don't know how much some of y'all I don't listen to him all the time, but there's pockets of time where I listen to people. I may listen to somebody 5 or 6 months, and then I may be
Move on.
off of them for 5,
I
6
had a
months.
month or two I listened to him just
Right.
to see what was going on the show. It wasn't
But if
bad.
you, even number one, he can hold a conversation. He can go 3 hours, 3.5 hours on with the conversation with somebody. Everybody can't do that. You got to be curious. You got to ask the right questions to do that. Number two, based off of his curiosity, this regular dude that was a comedian and MMA fighter, the amount of knowledge and information he has about a whole bunch of stuff is ridiculous. But it comes through countless interviews and being curious and getting perspective and knowledge and stories from so many different people. He has a ridiculous amount of just information and knowledge on a lot of things. So it helps you in the long run when you are curious. One of the things that I think that really helps me is my curiosity and being able to lean on stories of other people, different races, different genders, and not coming in with my I know I got my own thoughts, but the fact that I'm curious about how another person or another side sees it, I have something to lend to every conversation because I'm curious. And I have stories way outside of just my own perspective that I can lend to any conversation.
Yeah, I think my last thing is if you have not been a curious person in the past, work on being more curious.
Oh, Ivory, how does the person work on being curious if they haven't been?
Ask more questions. Listen more than you talk. Like, if a good place to start, if you haven't been in the past, is say, how can I flip this? How can I start asking people questions and doing more listening? I think
I'm still wondering if that's like, how do I think you're right, but I also it has to be an internal thing first.
Well, yes, it would be nice to care about what people's.
I'm trying to catch the root of it. One of the roots is you need to have a certain level of humility.
Yeah.
If you lack humility, it'll be hard for you to have genuine curiosity.
Ooh, you know what? Because we going rooting.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to really assess your life and see if what you're doing is going to get you the ultimate results you want with people in your life. Do you currently know and have the disposition that you need to have to fulfill what God has called you to? And a lot of times, people make excuses. You want to bring people to Christ. You want people to come to church with you. You want to have better conversations with people. You want to connect more. You want people to feel like all of these things you feel like is wrapped up in your purpose. Like, are you able to achieve them by the way you go about things right now?
Right.
And if you haven't been achieving them, Stop making it other people's fault. You're not achieving what God told you to do. A part
Right.
of your problem, especially if it's about people connection, is probably a lack of curiosity.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. We said we was gonna keep this short.
Yes.
We actually kept it down to our regular time of what our original aim is, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
But yeah, I liked a good conversation. So, guys, if you ever have any topic ideas you want us to talk about in the future, please let us know. Send us a message. I'm pretty sure we will talk about it. Make sure you like and follow the page as well. What else am I missing, Ivory?
Nothing. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday, everyone. I think I'm tired.